Hello, Scorpio. Welcome to Ula Tea Leaf Readings. My name is Lenor, and today I'm going to be reading your tea leaves. Now, your reading is activated. You've clicked on it. You're hearing my voice. The message wants you. So let's go. We start with a tarot card. I know we're here for a tea leaf reading, but I like to pull a card because it really sets the tone. It lets us know, like, what's the vibe? What is the energy that we're coming into, that we are dwelling within? And this is my favorite card. My favorite card of the whole dang kit and caboodle of all of them. This is the Four of Discs. The Four of Discs. And we could also call that coins or pentacles, whatever you'd like. This is a card of returning to the base, right? Returning to the fundamental, elemental, fortifying aspects of our being, of our life, of our practices, of our views, our beliefs, our virtues. This card speaks of virtue to me, and not the virtues that we might think of, usually, right? But the primal virtues, the virtues of survival, the virtues of going back to where we need to be to refill ourselves so that we can continue on. And so all of that it's very, very simple. And that's what I love about this card. It's also, one of balance and of doing some of the most difficult work there is, even in, magic, the occult, I would say even religion, because if we don't have those really core parts of self aligned, it just doesn't work on any level. Or maybe it does a little bit, but you're going to keep running into the same blockages or the same failures. Okay, and I want to say thank you for clicking on the reading. If you would be so kind. I mean, the algorithm just is not liking me lately, you guys. So it's probably my sporadic, my things just have been, they're always wild over here. I'm always saying, oh, it's busy, it's this, it's that. Yeah, there's always stuff. There's always going to be stuff. So it just is what it is. I'm in that mom life world most of the time. And if you have parented children ever or been around them, you know how chaotic that life is. No matter how much you plan. So anyways, liking, subscribing, leaving comments. I'd love to hear from you. Let me know how you're doing. What is going on with you during these holiday season. If you partake in holidays or not. We are over here. I'm actually a big holiday person. I like holidays of all sorts, of all the religions and Abrahamic systems, and also mostly, and this is most importantly in my eyes, my own made up holidays. Okay. So we have, it almost looks like the name, I want to say Terry, right up in here. Where's my stick? Oh, my arms are sore. I've been training jujitsu, and it really, I thought I was all ready for it, and man, does it really get me all worn out in my arms. Here we go. We have T-E, and then we have, it looks like an R, and I'm looking at this as a Y. Terry, Jerry, it could be Ginny even. Jenny. This name, it feels like a passing thought of maybe somebody you haven't seen in a long time. It's almost like one of those moments where just like, I don't know, you're like driving to work in the morning and all of a sudden you're like, I wonder whatever happened to that Terry that we worked at it was my second job I ever had, and you know, that kind of thing, like way back. Not anybody super like prominent in your life anymore, but I feel like something, it feels like a pulling you towards looking for them. I have this feeling that, well, in Scorpio, I mean, you're like me probably, right? I always say this, us Virgos. I'm a Virgo, you're a Scorpio. We're like siblings. You're the cooler one, for sure. Twins, really. Still, you're the cooler one. But we're not super into going back and finding people. At least not anymore. You know what I mean? Like, we did that when we were younger. You kind of have a couple of good ones. And maybe like, I don't know what I'm doing here. And maybe even one that pulls you back into a cycle that you had to fight once again to get out of. You know what I mean? And so, weary. I feel that you're usually pretty weary. Now, this person, for some reason, I just feel like that it's almost like I think of, and I'm moving around, I'm sorry, I'm like in my vision here looking. It's almost like, well, I guess like daydreaming or visualization, but like kind of takes me down a path. And I almost feel like this person is like a glowy, right? Like a sparkly, like something. Now, tell me if you've had this experience where you're just maybe going through information, maybe you're looking at like names, maybe you're, walking around in the world and suddenly you experience something that just feels like it pops out at you, like it doesn't belong, right? Like your pattern recognition is just going off the charts right here. It's saying, look at this thing. This is the shiny thing in the room, So I do, for some reason, feel like there is a necessity, or at least an invitation that seems potentially pretty good. I mean, it doesn't feel like a negative experience in my mind. So usually I would say, just let it be, let it go. But this feels like it could be something that is quite meaningful for you. Okay? And I think that's why it's so central. Now, we also have, I want to look at this person here. We have one here, the head, here's the body. Now, they're holding, it looks like an eye. Okay? Behind them, we have, it looks like the number 3. And beneath, we have a person who looks like they might be in prayer, and I'm looking right in here. Kind of head down, looking down. Now we have another person. Oh, I see. It's like Sisyphus. Okay, so we have a person standing here, and up the hill, now we have a person here rolling the ball. So it's the same person, really. Okay, we also have a chicken, or the rooster, which is an alarm. Okay, some kind of alarm going off in your life. Now, up here, it almost looks like a little landscape. We have the city, like a city line in the background here. You could see like the buildings and this and that. Now, out here, it looks more like trees. Okay, we have a person sitting on a horse riding. And over here, we have the number, it looks like 68. 68. So I feel this real sense of wanting to get more rule. to get maybe out to the suburbs, maybe further out into the middle of nowhere, a smaller town, maybe like a little country house somewhere, maybe a little hut or earth ship or something out in the woods, something. And I honestly feel like a lot of this has to do with, well, the way the world kind of is right now, or the many ways that it is right now, the chaos that it is, the many layers, the deluge, really, of information that we must try to swim through on a daily basis, right? On top of all of our actual and physical world responsibilities, right? So many things. I feel part of this is that there's a sense of no privacy, of being watched, of being filmed, of, being always witnessed. Now, we know, if you're my age or older, I'm 40-ish or 40, 45. I'm 40. 40, right? I turned 40 this year. I've already forgotten. Where are we? What day is it? It's like this weird liminal snow, blizzard, super cold, tundra, no light, holidays, everybody's getting sick and getting better, and events and things and mom, my brain, it's fried, you guys, it's fried. But let's get back to you. I feel like there's a sense of surveillance. Just being acutely aware of it. And we know that this is where we live now. 34. Oh, I was talking about how old I am. Yes, 40. If you're any older than I am, my age or older, you remember a time when supposedly not everything was being surveilled. You could leave your house, get in a car that had no computer stuff in it, no GPS, and drive somewhere and do something and really never have the expectation of being filmed. That literally was the world that we perceived that we were living in. I don't know if that was true or not. I'm not going to get all conspiracy, but that was a place, an energy that we could dwell within. And if anybody thought that, there might be a camera in this thing, because technology was very arcane, even just like 30 years ago, they were paranoid, right? That was even true just a few years ago. I think they still try to push this agenda sometimes. But we know that everything around us is in some way, even if it's passive, recording us. Not everything. And I'm sure there are places. Listen, I'm not saying to the extreme, I don't know, maybe. It's a simulation, possibly. I don't know. It makes my brain feel like it's full of worms. But I can tell you, you leave your house and you're going to be on some camera somewhere. Stoplights, stores, cars, dash cam, whatever. Somebody's phone, whatever it is. And I feel like for you, you don't like. You at least want the perception, the feeling that you're not being filmed all the time or watched, or, you just can go outside and, your pajamas and water the garden and nobody will see you. This is part of my, This is part of my dream too. Is it possible? I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I live out rural now in a very intentional position on a property because I'm very intentional about things. But, and for security reasons, but also for like sacred geometry reasons as well. And geomancy. Geomancy. Not the divination, the other one. But anyways, I feel like you want to get out. You just want to get out. You don't want to be watched anymore. You don't want to hear people all the time. You maybe watched my husband's channel, and recently we had to go on a trip for some health stuff for him. And I heard somebody honking at like 5 a.m, and I was like, I haven't heard that in so long. You forget. And I lived in the city most of my life in apartments, in like not nice apartments with thin walls. So it's not like I'm some naive person to sound. I've never lived in a city, but I have. It's amazing how fast you forget about noise pollution, light pollution, all this stuff. But it affects us greatly. And I feel like it's not an uncommon response to want to move away, to get away from it. So here's the deal. I feel like you have really been, going over and over and over this. And with that Sisyphus, that's that myth about the dude who is it in the Inferno? I can't remember. I don't know. Anyways, the dude is like in the Hades. He's in the subterraneans, not the fun ones. And he is pushing a boulder up a hill, and every single day of his life he does it. He tries to get up to the top. The thing falls. It goes all the way back down. He has to go back down. He pushes the thing again. He starts over, and that is, forever. Infinity of that. I don't know. I kind of like repetition. No, I'm kidding. It's a tough thing, and we can apply this to a lot of aspects of our life that just feel too much. But I think for you, yeah, it's like you have been driving towards this thing, the fulfillment, the meaning, and it just feels like you're going in circles. And I think this, dream, this wanting of maybe getting away from, where you are, I mean, that makes sense. Now, is it realistic? That's the thing, right? Is this like one of those, you're going to take your problems wherever you go? And here's the deal, too. Detoxing from living in a populated area or a place where you have a lot of access to things, not an easy task. Baby steps is my opinion. I did the baby steps. I went from a smaller town to a smaller town, and then finally very rural. And, there's a lot of things that go into it. It's not easy. There's a lot of, you have to drive a lot too. That's a big part of, unless you're just, really going off grid and like living in like kind of a cloistered little, thing or whatever, which dope. Super cool. I wish I had that energy. But, there are so many things you have to consider, So I feel like for you, this is a place where maybe it is kind of a little bit of a relief to daydream about. It's like kind of, and I do lean into it, using that, like things like active imagination to play this out for yourself, and either, build a plan, do the whole thing. Even if like somewhere way in the back of your head, you might not ever do this, right? Things like they grow and they become alive as we plan them, as we do them. Plus, don't get me started on the magical aspect of building something out, right? Even if you don't think you're going to use it or employ it in your physical that you are living, your waking life, building things like this, you can employ into other timelines, or at least this is what I partake in sometimes, right? Building worlds within worlds, new timelines, and employing them so that on these other timelines, the magic is taking place, right? The things, your intentions, your will is taking place. And so that does, and it begins to bleed over into the world that we are living in. So it can really alter our pathways, our paths, pathways, and so on and so forth. So, it's not a meaningless task to go through the preparation, at least like the planning phases of something, even if it's something that you think is a wild dream. We learn a lot about this, like in, like the law of attraction, for instance. But I think also it really is just recoding your brain, and it makes you more creative. Now, we have a tree here. We have birds sitting on the tree. We also have, it looks like a king or emperor coming to the tree. Okay. Now, I feel that you are really waiting for some kind of message. Okay. Now, it's not just one, right? You've been waiting for a series of maybe informations, or like the green light to get something going, or maybe finally word, like a judge has made some kind of determination about something, something like that. And I feel like you are going to meet this experience with the greatest diplomacy. Now, this is important for you, Scorpio. I'm not saying that like y'all like while out too much, right? Right? But I do feel like in this time you are putting on that real, like, even business, professional, best communication, best, holding your reactions, being thoughtful, being intentional. This is going to be important because I feel like there's kind of like there's a turn in your life that is coming. I feel like this could be something that is challenging, but so rewarding. Now, it could be the other way around, though. It could end up being, taking the easiest way, and then it's just kind of something that is very underwhelming, or actually is a failure. It ends up being a failure. But you're meeting it with this, like, very prepared, very professional, but also very discerning, right? You're very discerning. You're going to make the tough decisions. So there will be a series of messages for you. And I feel like this is within the real world, okay? So really, as maybe some anxiety rises with whatever's happening, and it feels very clerical for some reason, so I do feel like this is something that's like paperwork. Maybe it's financial. Maybe it's like some kind of thing with work, or, you have to go and get like I don't know, like you're investing or something, or you're selling something, whatever it is, right? It's tedious, but you are meeting it on time. That's a big thing too. Us Virgos, we're not always on time either. And you guys are definitely not always on time. But you are like early, right? You're doing everything right as it comes in. You're getting it done. You're taking this very seriously. And I feel like the outcome is going to be very much in your favor. Okay? Very much in your favor. Now, we have the word, it looks like arm, A-R-M. And I feel like there's almost a sense of, you've strained something and maybe your arm, shoulder, something like this. Now, I feel like this one, and I'm not a doctor, obviously. I'm just a silly lady in a cornfield somewhere. But it feels to me like this is something that is not super serious right now. But if you don't let it mend, it is going to get worse. Okay? And it could have really lasting damage. So go slow with yourself. I feel like I get this real sense of almost like anxiety because this happened as you're super busy. And that's the big thing. It's like, why is this happening? I have too much to do. I cannot have any restrictions. I feel you. Oh, I feel ya. Okay, so we have a dog. And we have almost, it looks like the hermit returning. I feel that, and we have somebody making an offering up here, and then we have the number 16 up there, and we have a heart here, we have a heart here. Now, I feel like these are expressions of love from somebody within your family. It is not romantic, but it is somebody within the family who is really going to surprise you with their presence, and not only their presence, but being in such a good way. It's like maybe like a sibling or something. Maybe they've had some rough years. They haven't been themselves too much. And this is the year of their return, right? They are working on themselves. They are, out of that marriage that was like sucking their soul, or maybe they were in addiction or mental health stuff, or, whatever it is. Whatever was going on, it feels like there is this sense of we're together again, okay? So that feels super important. Now, the other thing is I feel like you have somebody in your life who is a good friend, or, maybe like a neighbor, or I don't know, somebody that you trust and you kind of commune with them. I do feel like this is a good time to recognize them. I feel like there's such a loyalty there, and you can definitely go deeper in this relationship. And I feel like it's like spirit kind of pushing you lightly, kindly towards going and hanging out together. It's like, my daughter, when sometimes she'll get kind of, a little standoffish at the playground or wherever, and it takes a minute to warm up, and you're kind of just like, here, not pushing them, get out there, just kind of, guiding them softly, gently. And I feel like, I feel like this is a really important relationship for you. Absolutely. To me, it feels like I need some water, first of all. It feels like your relationship, you don't live for other people and other relations, or your relationships with people. You're not a person that if you had no friends, you couldn't survive. You are fine. You're totally self-secure in a lot of ways, but you do honor your relationships greatly. And I feel like there's just a sense of deep belovedness in everything that you're doing right now. I think that's really where it's at. So anyhow, Scorpio, let's do our lucky numbers. I got to get moving. I have a live coming up here. I got to get that set up. First number, 45. We're doing, I'm going to talk, what did I want to talk about today? I didn't even see what it was. 59. My brain's everywhere. 4 and 4. One thing at a time, Lenor. I'm sure, like me, your lists are long. I have so much going on these next few weeks. It's just wild. But I feel so privileged, right? It's a lot, but it feels immense. I am super excited. I'm finishing an operation that I've been doing for years now, a magical operation. It's being tied off pretty soon here and beginning the next one in the new year. And I am just ecstatic. If you are somebody who is into magic, or maybe you're not, what this is kind of, you can have kind of rituals and ceremonies that go on for years in your life. And I almost kind of look at it as the next act of the play, right? So I am moving into that, and I'm very, very excited about it. And also just doing the lives with you all. And if you have time to come check it out, I usually do them at 12 p.m. Eastern time. And I'm going to be doing some in the evening. I'll definitely post about the evening ones ahead of time. And hopefully, if you have the chance, if you have the will, come and check them out. I will answer your questions. And yeah. All right. I love you guys. We'll talk soon. Good night.